Let's get rid of these brush strokes as well. We've had a quite interesting conversation on Telegram. I don't know if anyone has been following it, but if you haven't, then I definitely recommend going to Telegram. And basically last Monday, Eric Pace, the new CEO, had another Q&A, and I announced it in my stream last Saturday. And basically we've had a long conversation, lots of ideas, etc. Effectively, Eric came back to the community on the Monday. He said, I'm just going to read it. He said, there's no substantive feedback or counter proposals on the 4 ideas Eric proposed here, but there was some feedback about timelines and execution, some value the community discussion, others seem to value reassurance about the future. With that in mind, we will tentatively go forward with the proposals in the order that I presented them. So, number 1, token burns. We'll assess timing, but ideally we can get started in January and execute every month thereafter. I assume this month. We can reassess this in 6 months. Ideally, this can be a community governed mechanism in the future. Number 2, Treasury locks. This is minimal dev work, but we do need to decide the lockup period and linear unlock period. As things stand now, we tentatively move forward with a 24-month hard cliff and 36-month linear unlock. Staking, will review the trade-offs with different yield options. This isn't intended to be a long-term solution, but a bridge to keep aligned holders engaged while we build the travel app. If it doesn't serve that purpose cleanly, we won't do it. 4, gamified incentives. If staking moves forward, we may test the small opt-in gamification elements with the same stakeholders. This would be a limited part, but not a full rollout, to better understand incentive mechanics for the travel app. This does not change Dtravel's core priority, shipping the travel app and driving real user adoption. And then he was around for questions, and so there was a little bit of a conversation thread. Here, Kitty Comet says he likes point 1 and 2, token burns and treasury locks. He doesn't like staking gamification, I guess. Oh, he does like gamification, and he doesn't like staking. And then Harry Jacks adds another question. He talks about the locked tokens. Here, Radioactive says something. Anyway, so there's a conversation here. I'm not going to go through it, but I think the most important thing that you can take from this interaction with the community is that Eric is engaging, he's conversing, he's listening, he's responding, and there's real engagement. And while a lot of people are spectating or not really interacting, you can't really judge the community. I don't think it's fair to judge the community based on interactions, because a lot of people don't interact. They're silent observers, and they're just watching and waiting and listening and just seeing what's happening. Maybe they're investors, or maybe they are interested in accumulating or buying, and they're just trying to see the vibe of the community. So I think it's also like here, Jack Cassis says something about a token that he was invested in called Theta, and that made millionaires. And it basically happened when everyone thought they lost all their money. And I think the lesson here is that we have a project which is real, has real value, real world value. And for whatever reasons that I've gone into in the past, people have sold the token. They've sold it. They're not holding on. Partly to do with the altcoin market and Bitcoin and crypto and risk on assets being hammered, but also mainly to do with the previous direction of the business and the way the token was assigned value. So this is changing. You can see that it's changing. And even if the changes haven't happened, you can clearly see with Eric's interaction and his ability to communicate and respond that we're on a different path, completely different path. Now, if you've missed the previous conversations, you have to go back one video when I talk about the week before, where Eric talks about the reasons of why we're making these steps, taking these new steps, and the priority, the focus and priority is to build something which attracts travelers. And when the travelers come, everything else comes. And I think they're not losing focus from that. It's just that at the moment TRVL is being hammered, and everyone who has invested, it's the only way to invest in this project is to accumulate or purchase TRVL. They're not happy, including me. I'm always happy, but obviously I would rather TRVL be at 20 cents or $1 rather than wherever it is now. Anyway, the conversations are robust and no question is left unanswered. No one has been banned. And Eric is engaged. And I think that's the most telling sign. We have a new CEO. He has a vision for the future and he's bringing the community with him. That's the most important signal that you're ever going to get. I think if you can separate the noise from the facts of what is happening, yeah, forget about all the noise, because everyone has a different opinion, yeah, and it's not any individual is 100% right. We all have different opinions, and I think the most important thing here is that Eric, new CEO, has a vision. He's interacting and he's listening and he's engaging. And here you've got Andrea, wonderful Andrea, is also interacting as well. So for me, this is a real signal, a real alpha signal that this project isn't dead. This project is alive. Now you can go and interact and engage with that Telegram and participate if you want. And I think you should, if anyone is interested in Dtravel, then why not? It's a good idea to participate and engage. When I go to look at Dtravel on their X page, and you can see that they're very active, maybe not as many engagements as we would like, but you can see they're active and you can see that it's all changed. Yeah, look, we get 54 likes on that. It's not too bad, huh? Picture of Eric Paste. It's not too bad. We are getting interaction. It's not bad. Like it is starting to pick up. They are posting. It's not boring. It's not monotonous. It's kind of fun. And this is Andrea rather. She's in Bali or somewhere, Thailand, wherever, working and posting and doing work. And that's kind of what we need. We need new energy, and we have it. We have the new energy here, right here. Mr. Eric Pace. And so I think what we have to do, if we are believing or investing in Dtravel and TRVLs, we have to get behind the leadership. And I'll be honest with you, I don't 100% agree with everything, but at the moment I'm willing to put my money behind this guy and the new direction that we're going, in the direction that he's taking us. Is it reflecting in the charts? This is a real question, yeah. Like, because I look at the charts, none of it's financial advice. Effectively, it's all entertainment value only. I do like to look at the charts. I think it's fun to look at the charts. I wish a day in the future where this is going to be at like $10 or $15, and you have like thousands and thousands of like derivative traders trading, and then it'll be even more fun because we were there right from the bottom, right from the beginning. Maybe then I can get above 1,000 on my YouTube channel, and that would be a pleasure for me. But let's have a look at the charts. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. I don't really remember what I was saying last week. Oh yeah, there was a V-shaped recovery. Let's have a look at that. So when you're looking at the monthly time frame candle right now, this month, I think as long as we close, and this is a question who no one knows, above the previous month low, then we should get a nice a February reversal. That's kind of where my mind is at right now. And that would complete, yeah, that would be interesting to see. We've got a really strong buying tail last month, which was December. We're in the tail. We're in the buying tail. We had a strong piercing candle and it's been sold into, but now like this week we're getting more buying on. It's come all the way back down to test the lows. We're getting some strong buying again. We are getting some buying. You can see that. We're getting some buying now. So we are trying to accumulate. The problem is the rest of crypto and Bitcoin. And so now this is a real test for this project. Is this pivot going to hold? Or is it going to go further down? I think it will hold, but again, no one knows the future. Again, on the 3-day time frame, that was a bullish engulfing candle. What usually happens is we come down to test the lows for a reversal. That's kind of what I'm hoping, that we get like some kind of double bottom type reversal here. I think it's possible, but I'm not 100%. And it's really hard to do analysis on a chart like that because it looks like it's going to zero. But I've clearly shown you that it's not, because the new leadership is fully behind Dtravel, and we're gonna take the world by storm. I've just drawn a volume fib pool on MEXC. You can see, look, the point of control is where the current price is. That's a good sign. It means all of the 4 years the volume is now at this price. This is heavy accumulation at these prices now. So a lot of TRVL is exchanging hands, and there's clearly interest when you look at the volume in TRVL at these prices. It's obvious to see when you're looking at the volume. If I look at the other main exchanges, this is Gate. Let me just get rid of this stuff so it's not there. Let me do the same thing. Let me just do them individually. Slightly different profile on Gate. We are within the range, but there is still heavy volume accumulation, just not as much as where it was at here. But you can still see that we're in the range there. And then if I do the same thing with KuCoin, so we're getting different kind of accumulation on different exchanges, but at the moment we're getting heavy accumulation at these prices. So when I use the combined chart, this is a combination of those 3 exchanges. You can see that most of the volume that's come into this token over the last 4 years is at these prices. You can see that, look, it's at these prices. It's actually, look, it's like that. I think that's a good sign. Yeah, that's not a bad sign. It would have been much worse if we had most of the volume up here and then we're all the way down here with no volume. That would mean terrible, because that would mean then you'd have a lot of trapped liquidity, which would be very hard to clear, and it would form resistance, and it would be sort. This is very different. If once in the future, sometime in the future, we are gonna go up and flip this whole value area into support, and then we're going to have a lift off. And I don't know when that's going to happen. That will happen in the future, and that's why you want the volume at the lows, because it becomes support. So I think it's a good sign. I think right now on this daily, weekly, we're getting some buying, and I guess a lot of people are just saying $1,000 I can pick up, I don't know, 700,000 TRVL. Let's go. Let's buy it. Whatever, 600,000 TRVL. 5. That's quite a lot of TRVL. And if we can pull this off, we can see a lot of Dtravel millionaires, just like we did, just like Theta. Anyway, that's my kind of weekly update. I'm cutting it short because I'm in India at a meditation retreat with my mum, and I've got to go and do some meditating inner peace. All right, until next week, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.